Yo, what to do, guys? It is your boy, Leo Mookie. And if you guys have seen the news all over Twitter and over that of YouTube as well, that the creator of Dragon Ball Z, Akira Toriyama, has passed away. May a great legend like him be remembered for all he has done for us in this community. I may not have been a big fan of Dragon Ball Super after all, but I will say that Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z played a huge impact growing up. For me, a lot of people say that Dragon Ball Z is what got them into the Dragon Ball series, but that's not how it was for me. For me, what got me into Dragon Ball wasn't Dragon Ball Z, but the original Dragon Ball. Honestly, when I got into Z, it was already in the middle of, the Buu saga after all. Especially when Majin Buu finally appeared, and Gohan basically nearly died alongside that of the Supreme Kai. Goku was knocked out by Vegeta, and Vegeta was about to fight against Buu. That's how my first introduction to Dragon Ball Z was. But even so, I didn't really care too much about it, to be honest. However, the original Dragon Ball, though, when they rerun that of episodes from that of the first World Martial Arts Tournament all the way to that of, the Demon King Piccolo saga, I was basically hooked on the show all the way. It was one of my favorite shows, downright to the best, and I couldn't get enough of Dragon Ball. Mainly because I saw Goku as no older than me, a kid that just likes having fun, likes martial arts, and so carefree after all. I couldn't help but basically resonate with that of our favorite low-class Saiyan before we even knew he was even a Saiyan after all. Hell, the moment that truly made me a full-time Dragon Ball fan, all the way being that of the Demon King Piccolo saga, when one of Piccolo's children basically killed Krillin for the first time, the first major death in Dragon Ball before death was basically meaningless in the series now. So yeah, but back then it was a huge deal for fans who were serious. I will not lie, 5-year-old me was basically crying seeing Krillin die, and not just him, also from that of Chatsu and Master Roshi dying too. It hit a kid like me hard when we're not familiar and understanding the concept of death so easily and so early on at an age like that. So yeah, but even so, I was still hooked on the series. Hell, the craziest thing is it was for me to start with that of Dragon Ball Z. Again, I mainly went all the way to the Buu saga, all the way to GT. Back then, I barely understood the early half of Z. Hell, you guys want to know on how I basically understood Z? I played the Dragon Ball Z Budokai games back in the day with my older brother and cousins, after all, to get me to understand that of the Dragon Ball series and lore, to be honest. Even though there was so much shit that was basically cut out, I basically got the gist of Dragon Ball Z all the way from the Saiyan saga to the Cell saga. It's only when I started getting that of VHS tapes and alongside that of DVDs that I actually understood more and more. Hell, even when they started reruns of that of Dragon Ball Z through that of the Saiyan saga all the way to that of the Frieza saga, that I finally understood Dragon Ball Z more and more. But even after all of that, Dragon Ball Z may have been a huge part of my childhood, but it was never really my gateway anime. I owe that to Naruto. But even so, Dragon Ball Z was a huge part of my childhood. Not just mine, but also my older brothers, my older sister, and even many of my cousins, alongside a few childhood friends as well. Dragon Ball Z meant a lot to us growing up as kids, and many of us here as well. It's a shame that great legends, one by one, continue to pass on. from that of Kintaro Sensei, the creator of Berserk, with that, even that of Takahashi Sensei, the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh, also dying, saving lives, surprisingly as well. It's many people from our childhood and also were huge parts of mangaka history began to pass on one by one. It's truly a shame, but they will never be forgotten, and their legacies will continue to live on through their works and their inspiration as well, especially with Akira Toriyama's work in Dragon Ball Z that inspired almost an entire generation of the Shonen Jump. Hell, if it wasn't for Dragon Ball, the big three that we all know and love would have never happened after all. And for that, I have to say, thank you, Akira Toriyama. You have done all you can. You've let your series into good hands, being Taro Taro. And if you're even able to hear this from the afterlife, thank you for everything you have done for all of us, with giving us that of your brilliant storytelling. You will be missed, but never forgotten. I hope you all take care.